What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Russ Bucket Central podcast for the first time in like what, 2 years, 3 years?
I think we're going on like 2, 3 years there. Whenever the
I think,
Avs and Lightning played there, I think 3 years. So
yeah, man, that was 3 years ago, almost to the day with the finals.
yeah,
But game one is tonight. Edmonton and Florida, the rematch of 2024. I know all Canadians wanted a different outcome last year and were pissed they didn't get it, but it's back. What are your thoughts, man?
I think if we just want to go straight into predictions, I think the Oilers are gonna win in six. Is straight up
Oh,
my
damn.
prediction.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Damn,
McDavid's not
okay.
messing around this time. Well, not that he was messing around last time either,
Yeah.
but he's
Conn
definitely
Smythe.
not losing back to back to the Panthers. I don't think.
For sure. And honestly, I think they're better this time. I don't know if you saw that interview or not after he won after they won the Western Conference final.
He's a little more nonchalant with it.
Yeah, for
This
sure, for
time he
sure.
seems locked in, dialed. He's
Yeah.
here
He's got
for it
a
now.
he's got a better mindset for sure, for sure.
Mhm.
Um One thing I am a little worried about though is no disrespect to Florida. I do actually no, I don't like Florida. I'm a Leafs fan, let's be honest here.
Straight up
But like,
disrespect to Florida. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, man. Um they score so many goals. It's insane.
It's pretty nuts. And I feel like having three lines like that straight up are first to second line caliber lines, that really it makes it that
Yeah,
way. And their fourth line's a good line on top of that too. They
for
just have
sure.
an absolutely insane amount of depth.
They all have that clutch factor too, that just annoyance factor that even though say they're the team that shouldn't win the game, they're gonna win the game kind of thing. And then when they do win, they
Yeah.
just maul you. No pun intended. But
They know how to play 10 guys with over 11 points. Like that's pretty crazy through three
yeah.
rounds.
And it's I know Matthew Tkachuk, he said in that interview, yeah, we're built to play playoff hockey after we beat the Leafs. It's true. That's literally why they're third in the
Absolutely.
Atlantic. They let Tkachuk sit for the rest of the year. They know they had in the bag. They knew they can get through teams, good teams.
Yeah,
So I'm a little scared, but I don't know. I think if there's going to be a main difference in this series, I think it'll be goaltending.
that's true.
Um,
Yeah.
because I don't know what you
Which
think, but I think
version?
Stu is yeah, exactly. Stu's like a hit or miss. He's it's either a shutout or he lets up five on 24 or something like that, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And Bobrovsky, obviously the more consistent of the two goalies, he's kind of had a little bit of that too, where he's been not
For
absent,
sure,
but he hasn't been the same Bobrovsky from the last couple of years at
for
certain
sure,
times
for
this
sure.
playoffs.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Stu Skinner here, his for how good he's been, for the times they needed him in. It doesn't make it or say do it justice when he has a 904. But
Yeah,
you'd think it'd be higher than that. But his last like his last four games, he's given up four goals with a shutout in there.
yeah.
Like it just depends on what Stu you get. Really, I understand that for sure. Um, Honestly, man, if you're Edmonton and you're going into this knowing you've played Florida already once and you had to play them last year, what's your first thing you talk to the team about?
I think, and it's easier said than done, absolutely,
For
but
sure,
staying
yeah,
out of the like extracurriculars after the whistle and everything like that. It's impossible not to. And Edmonton has their own shit disturbers. Like I really liked what I've seen from Kapanen,
yeah,
especially
Leafs
coming
legend
kind of coming into the lineup and inserting a little playoff style hockey in
for
there.
sure,
Obviously Corey Perry, Evander Kane, those guys can dish it out with the best of them. So maybe
for
they shouldn't
sure,
even avoid that, but I do think that's when Florida's at their best, is when
yeah,
they're in your head, they're giving you a chop after every whistle, they're punching you in the mouth, like
for sure. And if you
it's
retaliate,
yeah,
it's a big playoff game. So that the ref is looking for that one guy to take out to send the message, and you don't want to be that guy, especially with power plays
exactly.
both these teams have.
Yeah, elite,
So
elite.
I don't know. I love Matthew Tkachuk, but if he gets if early game one he gets picked out of a crowd with 18 minutes left in the first period, an Oilers power play on the home at home is well, fuck, good job, dude.
Yeah,
Like
it's going in.
yeah,
Disrespectfully,
yeah,
it's going in. Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah, man. That's if I were Edmonton, I would just like that. I'd stay out of the shit, and I would just I kind of try and stay more collected as a group. I found I mean, obviously it worked, I guess. Conn Smythe still lost, but McDavid was
Yeah.
him and Draisaitl were kind of running everything. The Oilers' depth has been like a lot more impactful this playoff run, which is huge for them. They get Ekholm
Yeah, I
back.
think
Like
yeah.
they lost Hyman, but like I mean, Skinner has a goal in 2 games in the playoffs, does he not? Like, so who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
his veteran presence will be something good, even though he doesn't have much experience. But um,
I feel
you
like
know,
as well this year compared to last year, where Hyman was a big factor. Not saying that Corey Perry is as good as Zach Hyman, but he's kind of
yeah,
replicated what he's doing offensively, almost being that like extension of the net for McDavid and Draisaitl on the power
yeah,
plays, and
for
I
sure,
think
yeah,
that can help soften the blow quite a bit.
for
Obviously,
sure.
big hole in the lineup though. Hyman, absolute stud, but
Yeah, I mean, like if you have a player like that to fill his role, though, that's still kind of that's a good thing to fall back on. Like I wouldn't mind that on my team either, kind of thing. Plus, he's one of
yeah,
those guys that he's going to be a shit disturber the other way and give you a hack and a jab every single whistle because he'll be right in the crease the whole time, you know?
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, speaking of shit disturbers, Matthew Tkachuk, what do you think of his performance so far these playoffs?
You know, he set a pretty high bar after last year in
Yeah,
terms of playoff impact. Where I think he's been great. Don't get me wrong,
yeah,
but he hasn't been the like top 10 player in the world so far that I think he can be through the playoffs so
for
far,
sure.
where he's been obviously fantastic, like 16 points in 17 games. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Not hating on you, but I do think that either like him or Verhage need to be just like a little bit better to kind of
for sure.
push
And
them over the
and
edge there.
I know there's still like potentially 7 games left in the playoffs too. But Sam Reinhart, only 4 goals in 15 games this year compared to last year when he was scoring. He had 10 last year. I don't know if it just seems like the goals he was scoring included were like huge because he scored the cup winner kind of thing, but I feel like he just kind of was in a different gear last year.
Yeah, it does feel like he's taken a little bit of a step back too, where again, like nothing wrong with a guy putting up 13 points in 15 games and being great defensively.
Hmm.
But I just think there is a little more capability from those guys where I think
For
if
sure.
they hit that extra gear, then it's gonna be really scary for Edmonton.
For sure. And that's what makes Florida good because they haven't hit this extra gear yet. But I mean,
Yeah,
we're shit talking a guy who just got nominated for the Selke kind of thing. So like
exactly. Like,
it's like
yeah.
there's not really any weak spots in this team.
If you're
Um
getting to the point where you're shit talking guys who are Selke nominated 50 goal scorers
yeah.
who are doing pretty solid in the playoffs,
60
I
goal
think that
scorers.
means the team's is pretty good. Is he
Yeah.
60?
I think he maybe had 59,
He's
but I
pretty
swear the
close.
year that Matthews had 60, he was pretty close.
That's insane, man.
But
Wow.
dudes, yeah, like having that kind of firepower and having the depth that they have, as a Leafs fan, like I unfortunately know all too well about their third line this year. Holy man. Um, Lusterinen, like not that he came out of nowhere, but like when was he ever this good? Maybe I just don't watch the
Yeah,
Florida Panthers that much, but like out of nowhere, this guy is like a solid third liner, like impactful plays and goals all the time. Like
yeah. That
uh
Finnish connection with Lundell, man, it's going crazy
yeah,
right
man,
now.
dude. And Lundell, like I think he's just under like half for faceoff percentage right now, so like could be better, but like having a defensive guy like that, it doesn't really like he'll figure it out. Um
Exactly.
and then Marchand, man, I'll let you take the Marchand talk here, big Bruins guy, but
Dude, it sucks. I hate like again, not a Florida fan at all. Man, it was pretty cool seeing him score a game winner against the Leafs in overtime. Like the amount of impact he's had in the playoffs this year has been actually
oh,
insane.
dude,
And he's unreal, honestly.
he has yet another TSN turning point against the Leafs in a series.
He's really good at doing that, eh? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man,
It
yeah, but like
man,
he's playing
yeah.
like a guy who isn't worth like maybe a second round, just a first round pick, like he is.
Yeah,
I guess
that
he's a
was an
first round
absolute
pick
steal
now,
of a
but
trade, I feel,
yeah.
honestly.
What was the condition there if they made the conference finals?
Yeah, it was like conference finals and he played half of the playoff games, which
Oh,
now he's officially hit kind of thing.
yeah. So
Um,
at least you get a first out of it. But I mean, a guy for Marchand
man,
still
that's
putting
worth it.
daggers in fan bases' hearts. Like,
Yeah, man.
yeah,
And it's the extracurricular stuff too, again, that
for
just
sure, man.
he fits the Florida Rat theme, man, just
Yeah.
perfectly.
I mean, that's literally his nickname. So like, you can't get
Yeah.
any better than that.
It honestly seamless fit. it sucks to see him, but I'm happy to see that he's
Yeah.
doing well still and kind
Yeah.
of
See,
coming back into form from what he was. Because this year, I think, was probably the worst regular season I've seen from him, which is to be
fair, yeah,
expected from a guy that age.
for
But
sure.
it's awesome to see him return to form a little bit there. It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
I mean, if you're talking about return to form, another guy that could be brought up is Seth Jones. I mean, that guy haunts
Facts,
my
man.
dreams after game 6 and 7 against the Leafs. Or no, game 5 and 7 against the Leafs. Um, he like only 7 points in 17 games, but like I feel like all of his offense that he's created has been like on a big goal.
Exactly. And even though he hasn't, like, again, 7 points in 17 games doesn't feel like a lot, but I feel like there's got to be some like tertiary assists kind of in there where he's
For
been
sure,
pushing
yeah.
play and like creating the chance that led to the goal kind of thing.
For sure. I mean, like a D-man in the
Yeah.
playoffs, I mean, unless you're like Eric Carlson, that's something that you would expect is that's good. 7 points, 17 games, a +9 in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Only 6 penalty minutes. I mean, like he's being careful. Next to Mikkola, who's right below him with 33. Like
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
um he knows how to keep himself disciplined, which is good because if he's a good penalty killer, you want him on the ice kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
So
It's been a far cry from like the last couple years in Chicago too,
for
where it's
sure.
felt like he's been a defensive liability where all he had was that offensive game.
Yeah.
I feel he's really brought it back where he had like the occasional pile-on moment against the Leafs I saw
Yeah.
especially, but like outside of that, like just honestly
Yeah.
super solid
He's
defensively.
no disrespect to Chicago, but it's because he's playing in a professional system, I feel like Paul Maurice
Oh,
compared
absolutely.
to who was it, Luke Richardson was his name?
I think so.
Um, like no disrespect to that guy. He's an NHL coach. He's a better coach than I am, but like going from that to Paul Maurice, who's like made the final 3 years in a row, been in the Western Conference Finals with Winnipeg, like been through the shit days with the Leafs. Like he's been through it all, bro. Like he knows what
Yeah,
it takes. And to go into that kind of system is like that's just got to be like a culture shock in a good way, you know what I mean? And it's
exactly.
like I'm kind of just looking here now. I never even really realized this. Like he's a stud defensively too, but like if Jones is going to take a step forward, he needs to because Forsling only has 4 points in 17 games compared to last year's playoffs.
Yeah, which I feel like you got Forsling for more of the defensive side, but you would still like to see more of a
For
offensive
sure.
impact.
For
And at least
sure.
they've had Mikkola as well step up and become randomly
Yeah.
a really solid offensive contributor this
Yeah,
year, it
for
feels
sure.
like. Didn't
Um,
see that coming. That's kind of crazy.
it- to put it into
It
perspective, Gustav Forsling has the same stat line now, or same stat line last playoffs in 24 games that Reinhardt has now.
that's wild.
So
That's
like
pretty wild. Yeah.
compared to this year, like don't get like you said, don't get me wrong, like he's a defensively primary like what's the word? Like he's like defensively minded over offensively minded, but
Yeah.
like he's got that two-way game that I think he can turn on a little bit more. And if he does, then that could be it. But
Going back to like what we were saying with Seth Jones kind of revitalizing himself, the more I
yeah,
look at it, the more I realize how often Florida does this, where maybe
yeah,
they're just fantastic at getting the most out of everybody.
for sure.
Like Sam Bennett, kind of a bust until he came to Florida. Seth
Yeah,
Jones now, what else was I looking at there? Gustav Forsling was a waiver pickup.
yeah.
Sam Reinhart rejuvenates his career. Carter Verhaeghe finds a new level.
Evan
Like just
Rodriguez.
more and more. Yeah, Evan Rodriguez,
I
like
mean,
every
not that he
guy
wasn't
there.
good, but
No, but
like
he's not 11 points in 15 playoffs good
yeah,
before he came
for sure, yeah.
to Florida there. It's
Yeah.
honestly like their superpower. It's kind of incredible.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy how they can always have like these players that you've never really heard of, like bring up somebody like Uvis Balinskins.
Yeah,
Like, and he's like still solid in the 5 games that he plays. You know what I mean? Like they have
exactly.
like,
Tucks a goal. Like
yeah, it's like they have 18 or like, um, it's like they have like three extra people at each position to that are like good. That like could play on any other NHL team. You know what I mean?
yeah, would be like really quality like depth pieces
For
and
sure.
they aren't even getting playtime. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Like
crazy.
I wouldn't take
Yeah.
some of those people on a lease on our fourth line. Like no offense to the boys, but like
Yeah. There's definitely
um
some guys there that are could
for sure.
help out a lot of teams there for sure.
I feel like we should switch it over to Edmonton a little bit here. We are Canadian after all, so we got to
Yeah.
support the
Probably should,
boys.
eh?
McDavid and Draisaitl again leading the way, of course. Who would have thought any different? Nuge is having a great playoff, like just as clutch as can be, like all the big goals, the big moments. Just trying to compare last
The
year to
start of
this
that
year.
series against Dallas there, that was honestly incredible.
Yeah,
Where I
like
feel like that's what kind of sealed Dallas's fate was that not saying that again, McDavid and Draisaitl weren't awesome. They're always awesome,
yeah,
but they
yeah,
weren't like stomping you by themselves level of awesome,
for
where
sure.
Nuge kind of took over and was like arguably their best player to start that series.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like if he's not there, then who knows? Because like that was a rough. Honestly, after game one against Dallas, I was like, this looks not good. Like I thought Dallas was gonna go on a
Yeah.
roll. Um,
It felt like they stole all of the momentum after game one,
yeah,
honestly.
literally. Especially after they were up 3-1 or 3-0 or whatever it was going into the third. Like
Yeah.
Edmonton has all the momentum, that place is quiet, and then it's in the flip of a coin, it's the other way around. I was like, oh
Six
God.
straight goals and
Yeah,
fucking,
here we
yeah.
go again. Or not
That can change
again,
a
but
series pretty damn quick. And
for sure.
props to them for surviving the pushback there this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they did it in the
They
final last year too. I guess they can.
exactly. Hopefully they do it a little earlier than 3 games in
Yeah.
this time around. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Bouchard over point per game again, man. He's like people meme him like people can meme him all they want, but he always shows up when he needs to.
absolutely. I feel like every point he scores and every goal, it's like, damn, that was a massive moment for you to clutch up
Yeah,
there.
literally.
And not saying that he doesn't have his like random, why in the hell would you ever pass that puck into the slot in your own zone play? But I
Yeah,
feel like his defense this year has been a lot better than
for
last
sure.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same
Sorry,
with
I'm
Darnell
just
Nurse too. Like
true,
absolutely
honestly.
resurgent.
Yeah, he had a couple
Yeah.
big goals too. I don't know if he has like you know how many goals he has, let's say on there.
It's got a
Uh
2 and 16 right now.
there you go. I know he had
I
one
feel like
big
both
one.
felt big. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like good playoff like goals that you need as you want somebody to produce for you. Um
Absolutely.
I just got a notification that Connor Brown's expected to play.
Huge,
So that's
huge
huge for
addition back
Edmonton.
into the lineup,
Uh Slotted
especially
in with
again with
Trent
Connor
Frederick
Brown
and
there.
Adam Henrique. That's I can't remember if that was their third line already or not, but that's a
I feel
grindy
like
line for sure.
I thought Yanmark was with Henrique earlier in the playoffs, but maybe they've
Okay.
shifted back to that a bit there.
Yeah. Podkolzin, Janmark, Arvidsson's the fourth line. I don't mind that at all.
Absolutely.
Arvidsson's sneaky good offensively, man.
True.
He used to be a solid top six guy. Like I think he's still got that a little bit in him.
It's pretty wild where I feel like it's like Florida there too, where
Yeah,
just the depth contribution offensively can be game changing for Edmonton just as much as Florida there.
for sure. Yeah.
Like I just in my personal opinion, the fact that Jeff Skinner is playing 2 playoff games through 16 playoff games,
Yeah.
that's again another like just like Uvis Balinskis not
Yeah.
like playing 5 games, like
Yeah.
it's a testament to how good their
For
depth is
sure.
there.
It's yeah, yeah, for sure. Um Kasperi captain on the second line with Evander Kane and Leon Draisaitl. You love to see it.
Absolutely love to see it,
Um
man.
no
He's a great
disrespect.
playoff player too,
Facts,
like
man.
flat
Like
out.
he's got an overtime goal in his career. He has a go-ahead goal in Game 7 in his career. Scores
Yeah,
another overtime goal to send his team to the conference final, or was it the final?
I think it was to the conference final.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like,
but just an impactful player in the moments, man. He
yeah, he's
lives up
got
to it.
clutch in his genes for sure.
Mhm.
If you would have told me that if I didn't know hockey but I knew the players, that makes no sense. But if you told me a team with Corey Perry and Kasperi Kapanen were your top two right wingers, you told me that they'd be in the final, I'd be like, what?
Yeah, that's an
You know what I mean?
insane right wing one and right wing two. That's
Yeah.
it's kind of
So
nuts. I feel like that probably helps again into contributing and making the depth there.
for
Um,
sure.
but no, that's actually crazy.
Yeah, that's a
Corey Perry at 40 years old is a right wing number one for a Stanley Cup contending team. That's crazy.
that's so crazy. Hey, I mean, it's
Yeah.
2007 all over again, I guess.
Dude, if it works, it works, you know?
Yeah,
It's
man, he
yeah.
should try winning one every once in a while. It's been a while.
Dude, if he loses another one, five straight's crazy.
That's
That's like
yeah.
that's
Is it
insane.
five straight or did he
Is it 5 or 4? I can't remember. Because I
I
know
think did he go to the final in 2023?
there was a year broken up, but I mean just 5 straight trips in general.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's
Because there was one year that he didn't go.
I
I
think it
can't
was
remember which
Vegas,
year that
Florida
was, but
2023.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Cause he yeah, I if oh man, if Corey Perry was on Vegas or Florida, man, he would test my patience so hard. Um,
Definitely wouldn't be a Perry fan, eh?
for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, for sure. Ekholm is back. That's so huge for Edmonton. Their
massive.
decor, man. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Kulak, Wallman, and Klingberg. Those are all just great D man. Like there's not really even a top four there in my opinion.
It's
Um,
top six at that point.
yeah, literally. Like
And I feel like this is what they really needed to do with Darnell Nurse to make him an effective player again,
for
was
sure.
having it so they don't rely on him to be like a defenseman one, which you're paying him like one. So
Yeah.
it sucks that you are, but
Yeah.
at the end
I
of the
mean,
day, he just can't be that. And having
for sure.
Bouchard and Wallman and Ekholm, Kulak, yeah, those guys I feel like
Yeah.
really help take the load off of him a bit
And
there.
like even though you're paying him, like you're still in the final. So like there's not much to bitch about. You know what I mean? You're like
Exactly.
you're almost where you want to be, where you want to be at the end of the day. So um also I'm not this is not Leafs biased. I liked him before he played 2 games for them, but John Klingberg has looked really good since he got pulled or came back. I'm so happy he came
No,
back. He
absolutely has.
you can tell he's got that experience in it, but he's still got like whatever he had injured. I think he's like starting to actually finally like fully nurse it back to health. I mean, every player plays a little bit injured sometimes, like I get that, but I haven't seen him look like this since like his prime in Dallas. I'm not saying he's in his prime now
Absolutely.
again, but like you know what I mean?
He didn't feel like an NHL defenseman until he went to Edmonton. Where
Yeah.
like when he was bouncing around a little bit there and recovering from the injury and then playing with the Leafs, he didn't, at least to me, feel like someone that you can actually trust to be your sixth defenseman in a playoff series.
Yeah, for sure.
Where
I
now he's
mean,
kind of got back to that and become a really
yeah,
solid contributor.
which is yeah, a solid contributor. Like McDavid said, like Edmonton plays defense. Nobody thinks they do, but they do.
They
Three of the last
absolutely
four
do, man.
games, they've let in fewer than 2 goals, including one shutout. I think the other two are both 1 goals. Well, I mean, obviously, but um, but like their D is like unreal. I haven't seen Edmonton play defense like this. I mean, I guess I did last year a little bit. McDavid wants to say, but they were never really known to be a defensive team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
This year it's a scary duo, man. If they can play defense this well,
mhm.
and then on top of that have, in my opinion, the two best players in the world on their team.
Yeah.
No shade to McKinnon because I think he's up there with Dry, but
Yeah,
they're my two picks personally.
fair enough.
It's just a disgusting duo, honestly.
Yeah, you can't
Really
beat
hard to
it.
stop.
Well, maybe McKinnon and Ranton. Oh wait, sorry.
Oh,
Um,
oh.
um, yeah, man. The game's kind of starting here soon, so we should probably wrap this up. If I had to give my prediction, I would say, oh man, it's so hard to say. You can't really say both teams, which I was about to do. I was gonna say, but if I had to pick one, I think it's Edmonton's turn this year. Edmonton in 7. It's not gonna be no like replica last year. It's gonna be an actual series, not like 3-3 and then one kind of thing.
Yeah, I
Um,
feel like they got the more passion this year and they
for
want
sure.
that cup more than
Ho-
Florida does.
Home ice advantage, and if you get to a game 7, you're in Edmonton this time, which just helps so much. I don't care
That's
what
massive.
atmosphere you say. Like Florida's atmosphere is good, but even if you're in a Montreal for game 7, you're not winning that game in the final. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
it's
There's
just
just
like,
tears to it, honestly.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm glad we're back. We're back to stay. The boys are back in town. Let's go.
Hell
RBC
yeah.
is here to stay. Thank you so much, Brad.
Hey, wait, Tyler, real quick. Do you know what the B stands for in RBC?
No,
It stands for back, buddy. Let's go.
let's
Let's
go.
go.
The boys
Let's
are
go.
back. Unreal, boys. We'll see you next
Hell yeah.
episode. See you later, boys.
See you, boys.